Hey, everyone out there in podcast land. We just saw Captain America Civil War, all your friends here at the front row.
This is no spoilers.
Yes, this is no spoilers. This is our rapid reaction. I'll start it off. That's quite possibly the best Marvel movie they've made so far. Just wall-to-wall action that is just so incredible. Great performances. That's really stood out to me in this show, this movie. God, really deep and heartfelt performances that I don't think we've gotten to that depth of a performance before, especially from Robert Downey Jr., who I think this is just as much his movie as it is Chris Evans's personally. I need to think more, but you guys go. Craig, what do you think?
I loved it. I mean, I don't know if it was my favorite yet, but I'd like to go see it again, and then again, and then again. The action sequences were quite incredible. We've all heard about the airport scene, and it lives up to everything that you've heard about it, and it was absolutely fantastic to see all of the superheroes being handled in a way where it made sense, and it didn't seem like anybody was overrunning anybody else. I mean, it all came together, and they introduced several new characters without skipping a beat at all. Spider-Man's introduction was absolutely incredible, and how they handled his quote-unquote origin story was perfect. So don't want to spoil how they did that, but
that'll be on full disclosure.
Definitely it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a great series with Tom Holland. He is a perfect Spider-Man.
He absolutely is. Scott?
The action beats were great, obviously, but I also like the character pieces. Scarlet Witch and Vision get a couple good scenes in here.
Oh my God, they did. It's really good stuff.
Wow.
They're going to be a couple.
And they're going to have fake kids. It's going to be great.
That's a weird kid. That's going to be a weird child.
It's okay. They were all in her head anyway. But I mentioned on the ranking that Avengers will be number one because it has a special place in my heart, and I need to watch this a couple more times, but I truly think that this could very well be the best Marvel movie they've put out so far. And I'm going to steal from somebody online who already said it, but the 20 minutes we get Spider-Man in this film is the best Spider-Man movie we have had so far. Because not only is Spider-Man great, but Peter Parker has played well too, which is hard to come by. Sam Raimi couldn't pull it off, but they did here.
Yeah, Seabiscuit didn't do as good of a job as Tom Holland.
As I turned to my colleague here when he first popped up, I'm like, our boy has come home.
Yes,
our boy is home.
He most certainly has. Speaking of colleagues, Al, what do you think?
I don't know what else I can really add. See this movie, see it a million times. I will definitely watch it several more times. I think this might be very well may be my new number one. Oh, it's just every moment you were so engaged. Nothing really ever pulled you out of it.
Oh.
And that is something that happens a lot in superhero movies, is that something happens and it kind of pulls you out of the story where you're like, I don't know about that. But every second of this, it made sense. It felt like decisions that you would see those characters make. You understood why they did what they did
Tony Stark
across
is an
the
asshole.
board.
You're right.
But let me just say, he has a point, and it was handled really well, in a way that I actually think it was handled better than in the comics.
Without a doubt. This is much better than Civil War.
I would say it's better than the Civil War comic.
He was absolutely much more reasonable.
Definitely.
Than in,
Driven completely by his ego, and I mean, this is getting more spoilery, but I mean,
we're gonna tread the line here.
He played a perfect Tony Stark because Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark.
Absolutely.
Very true.
He's become this character over the last decade, and it's his signature character. That's who he is.
And he's also less of spoilers, but there's no android Thor, so he's less of a bad upset that way.
I think that was a pretty safe bet. Nate just got done reading the comic book arc as well. Nate, what do you think of the movie?
I think the hype killed it for me, honestly.
Really?
I liked the movie. It's not my top favorite, not even the top three. I think the story lacked depth. It got across what it needed to, but it never really delved into the consequences for their actions. They blew up a lot of shit, and that's not a spoiler, but they didn't care. How did they care?
This whole movie was based on consequences. That's the whole thing. You've had the consequences.
It was based on a consequence, and then they kind of just go, that happened. And Robert Downey Jr.'s performance was good in what he had to do, but it was very one-sided. He was kind of brooding the entire time, but you never got to see the other side of it. Nobody's broody all the goddamn time. Even depressed people have their moments of clarity, for God's sake.
It's all Pepper's fault.
It is all Pepper's fault. Damn you, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Spider-Man!
There was a lot
Spider-Man!
of spitting for some reason.
So did you
was a lot of spitting.
did you like Scott here and the rest of us? Did you think that this is going to be the definitive Spider-Man we get now?
I didn't like Spider-Man.
Really?
I liked his performance, and his introduction was okay, but take him out of the movie, and he has no impact on the story whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I think that,
I won't give away
I think
any.
that's partially because of
It's
they threw him in
the
at the
problem
last
that I
second
have
because
with
of the
this movie,
contract.
just like I had with
Like Sonic.
Avengers 2,
Yeah.
is that it just reeks of setup.
And they talk about the relationship between Stark and Peter Parker. You know, that's not necessarily being spoilery, but and it's incredible in this.
Downey
I
Jr.
think it's absolutely
The performance
incredible.
is good, but it just reeks of setup. If you take him out of the battle scene, literally there's no consequences
Well,
for him not being there.
And Downey Jr. is already confirmed in being in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
But
and
that's,
that
I
makes
mean, if
perfect
you take
sense.
any
Yeah.
individual character out of this battle scene,
Scarlet Witch.
then okay, and Vision. So both of them have
two gods?
super. Yeah, they have
Yeah.
gods on their side.
Captain
But
America
outside of
and Iron
that,
Man, you can't have them in the.
I'll give it this.
how
Like,
about Hawkeye, Ant-Man, all these other characters?
Hey,
you can take
allowed
any of
Ant-Man
them.
to get into Iron
you
Man's
can
suit.
take-
no, hey, here we go.
Spoilers!
There's no spoilers in the trailer.
You
for God's
do
sake.
well, yeah.
There's a
You
lot of
kind of
stuff
see
in
a
the
little. I'll give
You
it
can take
this.
so many people out of it, and then that.
Sure,
you're right, it
sure.
doesn't
If
make sense.
if Spider-Man's
It doesn't make
not
sense.
if
That's
Spider-Man's not in the battle
Sorry,
scene,
calm the hell
then
down.
oh god.
You
See,
guys
I don't
speak.
know if that's even a spoiler.
I
Like,
know.
Spider-Man makes sense.
fine, he makes an appearance in a battle.
Oh yes.
But yes, okay. If you
take
take him out of that, yeah, you don't technically, I guess, need anybody
I
in the
think the only
scene.
thing
But
he brings to it
the
is
visual.
levity. That's about
Well,
it.
and that's the thing.
And
But
heaven forbid we have
again,
humor in superhero movies.
and again, though, here's the thing: like,
Okay.
it's good that the Russos, once again, like they're dealing with really heavy stuff, really heavy consequences. Lots of weighted decisions are made in this movie
In the sunlight.
yes, in the sunlight, that are going to have a lot of. This is going to have a lot of consequences for what happens in the rest of Phase 3. I have a
Yeah.
feeling. And the thing is like once again, it's what Joss Whedon did so great in the first Avengers. They give you those moments to laugh in the midst of all the drama, in the midst of all the weight, just to make you remember you're watching superheroes and that it's supposed to be fun too. But like one of the first reviews that came out of this movie was, the end of it plays out kind of like a horror film, like just like you're just watching it and you just want it to stop and everything. And I'm telling you, for me personally, I did get to feel that because look, the villains in this movie are not who you really think they are. And even when you find out who the villains in this movie are, you can't really, like, there's a reason why this person is a villain. And I love that. I love that we're not just mustache twirling and just setting, everything in motion.
I can't go into any detail on this one.
Exactly.
But
it's hard.
that final scene in the fight, I'm just watching it going, oh God, is he going to do what I think he's going to do?
Mm-hmm.
That takes some skill in both the script writing, directing to pull that off, and the acting to pull that off.
Definitely. And there's just so many great things
I think
in
that
this.
there are definitely some things I want to go back and revisit, and that's why I don't know if it's my favorite either. I mean, I still love. It wasn't
Winter
necessarily.
Soldier is my
I like
all-time
the genre
favorite.
films,
That's
right? We talked about the
It is a very
genre
good
films in the ranking, and I like Winter Soldier because it's a spy thriller. I like Guardians because it's a space opera.
Yeah.
This is a straight up action movie with a lot of. I mean, it has a lot of emotional ties to it, but when it gets down to it, this is the most actiony movie
I
that
feel
they
like
put
I
out.
learned nothing new about the characters. I just felt like it was the same characters I've seen before in other movies, and it's just them doing their thing.
But I think a lot of characters you didn't get.
Captain America, his thing with Bucky, literally all he says is he's my friend.
Well, no,
Yeah.
there's more short on that, but we'll get into detail when we can spoiler stuff. But a lot of the characters, too, get time that they wouldn't have gotten because they've only been in an Avengers movie. Again, we only saw Vision for, 5-10 minutes in Avengers? Yeah. He gets some really good points
does.
in this.
Vision in people clothes is the best thing I've ever seen.
You need to read the Vision comic. It's so good. I got to get going. However, I will say this makes me feel absolutely terrible for the folks over at DC because they should not have tried to do the same storyline with none of the build-up, because the nice part about this movie is that we had the decade worth of build-up going into it. I know I said we need to drop BVS. I'm just saying...
I haven't said a word about it.
No comment... Well, you did. You said the sunlight thing.
Okay,
But no comment on the movie, just to say that I feel bad for the Warner Brothers executives because this is going to hurt them in the old pocketbook.
This is also going to make $1 billion.
This movie's going to make what Ultron made 1.5. I imagine it makes at least that. It's already made 261 internationally. It hasn't opened
before
in China.
it opened here.
It hasn't opened in the
hasn't
United
opened in the
States.
United States. You know, well now it has, but still,
about 2 hours
it's
ago.
going to be absolutely incredible the amount of money that it'll make, and then that'll just feed into Doctor Strange and all those going forward.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is going to make a lot of movie, and at the very least, we can all agree.
It makes a lot of movie.
A lot of movie. It's going to make a lot of money for this movie, but I think we can all agree that at the very least, another amazingly solid effort from Marvel. It's. Yeah, I mean, like, God, they just tell the story so well,
They
and
haven't put out a bad movie since
no,
Thor: Dark
and like
World.
once again, the action. I mean, the Russo brothers are here.
The only
bad one.
That year sucked for Marvel movies. Let's be honest.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. We'll do full disclosure on this movie with a lot of spoilers, all the ones we tried not to say. Sometime
They all died.
Yes, everyone died. Earlier, probably early next
No
week.
one's mother is named Martha. Sorry.
nobody is.
What did you say? Why'd you say that name?
All right, kids, that's it. Go see Captain America: Civil War so you can listen to full disclosure. I'm Jeremy Gackner.
Craig McFarlane.
Excelsior!
Allison means.
I'm a jackass.
We'll see you in the front row, man.